10 o'clock, we'll call Sawyer County Administrative Committee meeting to order. Ask clerk to call a roll, please.
Ron Kinsley,
Here.
Ron Buckholz,
Present.
Tom Duffy, John Righeimer,
Here.
Stacy Hessel. You have a quorum.
Thank you. The next item is pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next item is certification compliance open meeting laws.
This meeting was noticed to the media and the public as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Thank you. Number 6 is the meeting agenda. Number 7, public comment. Anybody wishing to speak to the committee? Ms. Linda Zilmer, please.
Good morning, Linda Zilmer, Edgewater property owner, Birchwood residents, and I have 3 items for public comment today. The first one is agenda item 16, I believe. I have said in past meetings, and I just want to repeat again today, how valuable it is that Sawyer County has staff and the resources to record all the committee and county board meetings and put the YouTube videos up for the public. I have been for a couple of years now appearing at Washburn County trying to point out Sawyer County's best practice. And I know one of their county board supervisors, Ben Dryden, has been trying to work with their county IT to get things going. And I keep holding Sawyer County up as a model. I think if I look at the number of YouTube video people that watch these, the counts underneath, it's very valuable in that what gets said in a meeting, people can actually watch and see for themselves as well as read the materials, which is another best practice that Sawyer County does, the support materials. And then there's no question. It's not just like, well, Linda Zilmer attended a meeting and this is what her spin is on it. So I hope that people get recognized and you can continue to support that effort. Even Rebecca Roker cited that as a best practice at a BOA hearing, that zoning was able to go back and verify information for an appeal in court cases. A second item is the federal cuts that were mentioned in the previous meeting. And as I attend other counties' meetings, this issue about 2025 funding most likely being cut for our emergency management coordinators has been talked about in other counties. I know Washburn County received a resolution from another county that they will be acting on at their county board meeting next week. And I'm thinking maybe Sawyer County didn't get that, but I think it was first brought up here this month in the Public Safety Committee meeting. And then the final thing is I want to thank any of the county supervisors who may also be town board members who attended last Friday's Wisconsin Towns Association annual law conference. The recordings from those sessions, as well as the written materials, will be made available to those people. The session on public records was outstanding. It would be very helpful for county staff because it went into public records requests for courts, for law enforcement, rules around redactions, what you can charge for or can't charge for, and then also kind of clarifies, although there may be a public records custodian, maybe any of the staff members could be a party that needs to facilitate a public records request. I think it'd be very helpful for staff training. The other sessions were very good as well, and I was trying to encourage people to register because there was a section on towns under county zoning, and it largely referenced a case that's going on now, but I think there's some things that Sawyer County Zoning Committee and maybe the full board could learn from that and continue to work to better improve the process and minimize the risk of legal challenges or appeals. Thank you.
Thank you. Nancy, do you want to speak?
Nancy Schreier, 10777 North Namakagon Lane. I just want to echo what Linda said, how valuable it is to be able to see, if we can't make the meetings, to be able to engage with you as your constituents in the meetings that are on Zoom and are publicized. And thank you for the transparency. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Anybody online? Number 8, consider approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, which was October 9.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Duffy, second by Mr. Righeimer to approve as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 9, county clerk report. Ms. Klein.
So this is just the usual report. Dog licenses, they're suspended right now for 1 month in between as the season rolls over, so that's normal. But they slow down this time of year because it's the end of the year now, so they'll start up again. Marriages are kind of the same. We still get a steady flow of those. We've had a lot of people needing the courthouse judges for marriages. They come in thinking they can get married at the courthouse. And I don't know if that's like a myth that people think you can just go to the courthouse. They think we can do it at our window. So we try to set that up with the judges' assistants to do that. Let's see, we're getting ready for elections. So I went to St. Cloud and I had a great visit at Command Central, and I brought Chris with me because he's one of our election trainers in the county, my husband, Chris. And he got the back room tour with the IT people on the voting machines. So he asked them all the hard questions about security, and the ICE machine that we're going to be using countywide now going forward, that all the towns agreed to use, is actually a better machine than the one that they're getting rid of. And I think it will be more secure. And we got some answers to some of our questions on best practices for that. And I guess the last thing I guess I would say is if there are towns where the people really don't trust the machine, they can take those paper ballots out of that bin and hand count them at the end of the night. So if you're a small town, you only had 80 voters, you can still hand count those ballots in the towns. And in Draper, we always hand counted half because we had half paper and half machine. So for towns that want to have that, that's still an option for Sawyer County. So, I think that reflects our culture here, that there's going to be towns that want that, and that's a good thing. Otherwise, we have our first election notice going out in the paper next 2 weeks from now. So we're getting into that cycle. They are anticipating a primary in February for the state. And then we've got some villages, the city of Hayward and county board coming up. So the nomination papers can be signed starting December 1st, and I'll have papers for the county board at the meeting next week, so you don't have to try to get those yourselves. And then I guess Laura is back to the 1940s now with scanning those resolutions into a searchable format. So she's taking those giant old books and formatting them so that you can see them online. That's kind of a historical thing we're doing. That it's kind of a fun project. And then after we do that, we're going to see what else we can do historically.
I really appreciate that because I had to look up resolutions from 30 years ago the other day, and to have them there and be able to search was wonderful. So thank you.
Yeah, that's kind of a fun thing. That's Laura. She's dedicated to that. And the last thing is the 2026 dog tags are being prepared for distribution to the town clerks, the town treasurers who sell those. So when they come with their tax stuff, they'll pick up the bags of the dog tags for next year, the ones who participate in that program. And then the only other piece is the usual report here for next request, which is now in its final month. I mean, we're going to be done with this December 31st. So what we talked about as a future agenda item was a countywide policy and process for tracking record requests in the departments. So Mike and I talked about a spreadsheet and that some training that all the departments will be using a spreadsheet to track their own records. And if that comes to where you guys need reports on that, then we'll be able to pull them if you request them. So that's where we are. Do you have any questions on that?
Well, will they be directed to log in even if somebody stops at their office and requests a piece of paper? Like if zoning has somebody come to the window and say, I request this, but it's not like a formal, will they still be required to log that in?
I mean, it's really up to yeah, you could. It's up to the person if they interpret it as a public record request or just answering a question.
Yeah, they're required to maintain the record. Whether or not they formally put it in to our system, I guess, is another thing. Right now, people don't have to go through next request either. So we have people emailing or coming up to window now. And we've encouraged staff to put them in, but I can't say for 100% certainty they're all doing that.
So what I recall at the initial request of this was that of documentation and getting data is to find out how much it's costing the county. Will that still be factored in?
The tracking itself is costing the county.
Yeah.
At some point, it's ridiculous. I mean, I get questions all day long. I'm helping town clerks and village board members, and I'm not putting that in as record requests. If someone calls me with a quick election question and I have to stop and document that, that's gonna stop business for us and cost money that way. So I don't think it's a great policy to require 100% compliance with opening a spreadsheet and documenting every single question you answer. We're customer service, so all day long we're answering questions on the phone or at the window. So where do you draw the line with when it's a public record request? If we have to produce documents, we charge money for copies. That's, finance has that record then. I don't know, that's something, I guess that might be what we need to work out.
Yeah, I know for myself, I've gotten many financial ones over the years, and 90% of the time it's something I already have, so I don't have to produce it. So, if it's 5 minutes to type up an email and attach something, I haven't really tracked that in the past.
So in the past, we were getting heavy-handed by a couple of people that were costing the county a lot of money. So then that was the request to track it. But I take your guys' opinion wisely on what we need to do. But I just think that it's the bigger ones that are costing not just your time, but the county in resources. Because I think that there was a couple of heavy hitters before that we were just trying to document. But thank you.
You're welcome.
I also can say that I see the sheriff's department requests because they all go through me right now. And they've got the same requesters over and over that are requesting things that they put out on YouTube for entertainment purposes. But because the law is what it is, you can't say no. They can ask for those 100 times a day. So when I see them, I kind of roll my eyes because it's like these same people want this footage to do something with it, but it's not for us to question the motive. You can't ask why, and there's no restriction on the person requesting. So I guess when you look at it, the purpose of tracking it, I don't know what that does other than internally we know for our purposes. But I guess in my department, we don't have that issue. I feel like I'm being paid to answer those questions. That's part of my salary is to do records requests. So I'm not tracking that separately as a thing. I don't know that we need to get to that point for the whole staff. HHS gets some. Most people don't really get any. There's not that many happening. It's mostly zoning.
One question, Liz, the nomination papers from December 1st till January what? Do you know?
Tuesday, the 7th, I believe it is. It's that first Tuesday at 5 p.m. And you're going to turn those into me. You need 20 signatures, and I would recommend getting more than 20, 25 or 30, just in case any are thrown out. Like someone signs two that they can't do, or they're not complete. And then there's the campaign finance form and the declaration of candidacy. And then I'm also going to ask that if you know you're not running, let us know right away, because that extends that period 3 days in January. And so sometimes people don't make their mind up, or they hold out and they don't tell you they're not running. That's not great for the process in general, because we have a fast turnaround time with the primary to get the ballots printed. And it'd be nice to know the answer on Tuesday instead of Friday. That'll help. I think that's the Tuesday. I'm pretty sure I want to say it's the 7th. It's the first Tuesday in January at 5 p.m. So this is the other funny thing. The courthouse closes at 4 p.m., but by statute, I'm required to accept those papers until 5 p.m. So I'm going to have to keep a door open that day, like the front door. You guys have your key cards too. But other people don't have key cards if you have someone running that's not a county board member. So we'll work that out. But yeah, I interpret that to be that I have to be here till 5 that day.
Thank you. Veteran Service Office report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So for our monthly report for October, we had 490 phone calls, 720 letters, and emails and faxes, and 195 office visits. For workload perspective, October of last year of 24, it was 424 versus 490, 862 versus 720, and 219 versus 195. fairly close, if you ask me, as far as as far as how busy we've been. The VA disability compensation and pension claims, at the end of the month of October, when we cut this report, the Veteran Service Office had submitted 145 disability claims, and our veterans received retroactive payment of almost $5 million for claims decided in the veterans' favor. As far as initial and immediate financial impact comparison for 24, we had 196 claims and just over $400,000 in retro payment. La Crosse Vet Center, we co-managed 3 individual and 1 group counseling session. And for outreach, we had coffee and conversation with Gary and Nicole. And for social media recap on Facebook, it was 213 followers, 111 visits, and 111 contact interactions, and 3,816 views. So it ebbs and flows both ways, but we're constantly posting out there. For training, our training is up to date. We've got national testing that opened up the 1st of November. We've yet to do that, so we got to take care of that this month. And our annual report is last on here. One thing that is missing off our monthly report, we did have the Veteran Service Commission meeting on the 30th. That was after this report was cut. So we did have that on the 30th at, 2 o'clock, 2 to 3:30. So.
We spent a week at
Go ahead.
training. Excuse me. We spent a week at training as well in the month of October in Eau Claire for our Wisconsin CVSO, TVSO accreditation training. Or not accreditation, excuse me, state training.
Okay. All right, so sped through that to get to our annual report. We try to do this once a year, and like I said a few months ago, we were waiting on the data to come through to tell you basically how we did last year. So the report's up there. I don't have any extra copies to hand out, but in a nutshell, the Sawyer County veteran population represents 10% of Sawyer County. And that comes from the Green Book, 7th edition of 2024. The year in review for federal state benefits, I talk to you a monthly report all the time. This is where all this really ties in to what we do. So for 2024, for disability and compensation and pension claims, our office brought $9,326,616 directly to our veterans and their spouses' pocket for the disability claims and pension. For dependency indemnity compensation and survivor's pension, this is a benefit to veteran spouses who their veteran died of a service-connected condition, or in the means of a pension, it was a wartime veteran that served. And it's a pension is a needs-based program. So basically, if they're not meeting the minimum standard for living, cost of living, the VA will bring them up to the penny, to that level, and not 1 penny over. So that's where the pension comes in. For Sawyer County in 2024, it was just under $1 million to our dependent spouses. As far as insurance goes, when veterans, we apply for VA insurance through the VA, life insurance through the VA. And when they pass away, we help submit those claims back to get that money back. And that was $59,024. And that was direct expenditures. The VA broke this out this year between direct expenditures and indirect expenditures. Indirect expenditures, we get our veterans signed up on in VA healthcare. At least we try really hard. What was it, a year ago? I think it was, or was it January of this year? We had a meeting down in Burnett County. The CVSOs in the Northwest region got in there, and we had a medical person, somebody from the VA, Minneapolis VA Medical Center, that had the numbers as far as counties go, is how many veterans were enrolled in VA healthcare that were eligible and how many were not. And we were leading the pack for the Northwest region. So, we continually push this. It's a benefit that our veterans earned, and it can save them money by utilizing the VA. And in this case, the VA paid over $10,901,083 in VA healthcare benefits for our veterans in Sawyer County. Home loan guarantee, this one here, if you compare that to our 2023 report, the VA has been, about 3 years ago, they started getting a little weird with this benefit as far as accounting for it, and how I think it was a lot of work to break down by county what loans were where. So this year, what hung us up is they give us some kind of number, and I didn't have the correct colored tinted glasses to extrapolate what they were saying out of it. However, we have a state rep that tracks, I guess, home loans within the state, and they were able to break it down by county how much money was wrapped up in VA home loans and how many home loans each county had. I removed this from my total benefits at the bottom because I don't know how long we can sustain that, or if, for a secure and correct number coming back. So I decided that maybe this year I'd take it out. I left it in there so you could see what the state come back and reported as far as VA home loans within our county. We had 20 applications for VA home loans that started this year, and it was just under $5 million. Cumulative, there's 674, according to them, to the state, 674 VA home loans active in Sawyer County, and that's over $86 million in VA home loans. Burial benefits and insurance and indemnities, we brought back $20,290 in education benefits to include voc rehab and employment training. $250,000 was applied to our veterans for that, for those benefits. And then lastly, the Wisconsin Department of Veteran Affairs and the state of Wisconsin has the Wisconsin Disabled Veterans Property Tax Credit. The veterans that are able to utilize this have to be rated at 100% service connected to get this, and we push hard, like every other benefit, to get our veterans enrolled and signed up for this where they can take advantage of the program. For that, we had $146,558 come back to the veterans for part of their property taxes. So total benefits less the home loans, like I said, I pulled out, was over $691,808. Our operating budget for 2024 was $175,706 after we took some of the grant money that we applied for back to replace, replace the county taxpayer dollars. We'll go down, it's just more stuff of what we do. For the general information for contacts for 2024, it totaled over 16,052 contacts. And the veterans' deaths and burials remained consistent, I guess, from last year. We had 51 deaths that we helped the families, we processed their claims and helped them get their benefits, their markers for their veterans. And then as far as transportation to Minneapolis, in 2024, we had transported 47 veterans down to get specialized care at the Minneapolis VA Medical Center. Our counseling, we continue to do that in 24 and again into 25. For community outreach, we stay involved with, I guess, with the county. We've done. Let's see, we attend basically American Legion VFW meetings. Sometimes we ask to go and present, and sometimes they ask us to come and present, but we show up. we participate in the Memorial Day and Veterans Day service events. We do outreach through email, telephone, home visits as needed for our housebound veterans and those that are in nursing homes that can't get out and have issues with the VA. We go out and we help them that way. Extended job opportunities, we try to get our veterans employed. There's a lot of companies and people, private people that are looking to hire veterans, mainly I think because we show up. And advertising, last year, 2024, we did public advertising. We had ARPA funds that we received through the state, and we utilized that to do advertising on one of the radio stations. As far as accreditation training, we maintain national accreditation and state accreditation. We have to have that accreditation. So if we don't do our training, we don't get our CEUs done, and we don't get them turned in on time, we don't do our testing on time, or we don't pass, we're basically dead in the water as far as helping our county veterans. Everything has gone to electronic format where we need a card. To get that card, you need to be current in your accreditation training, or you're out, basically. As far as care of veterans' graves, for 2024 perpetual care graves, we spent $6,228. Again, Sawyer County, when I got here, this by state statute is the clerk's office that is to do this. Sawyer County has traditionally and has continued to have the Veteran Service Office do that. So we work through the clerk's office as far as getting the announcement out that perpetual care, there's a window between July and September that has to, if they want reimbursement, which is $4 per veteran grave or auxiliary, women's auxiliary grave sites, they can apply for that, provided it was not, that grave site wasn't contracted by the cemetery or the cemetery organization to be taken care of. So if no contract exists, and each cemetery, or in some cases townships that have taken over the cemetery, they can apply for that. The limit, I asked, 3 years ago for $7,000 because we came really, really close to that about 2 years ago or 3 years ago to bump it up. And so far we're under that, and I requested $7,000 for next year as well. I guess I'd rather have it up front than come back and ask you for money. The Veterans Relief Fund, we have a Veterans Relief Fund that is managed through the commission. I budget, or I come to you and I ask for $5,000 every year for that commission fund. A veteran that, no fault of their own, gets into a financial situation where maybe they need to, they're behind on their energy bills, but gas, propane, mortgage, rent, they can apply for the Veteran Service at the Veteran Service Office for the commission grant. It's limited to $500 in a year. You can and 2 applications. So if the first time they show up and ask for $150 and they show need, absolutely financial need for it, the commission normally approves it, and I contact the clerk's office with a utility bill or whatever that bill might be, and the clerk cuts, or the treasurer, I'm sorry, not the clerk, the treasurer's office cuts a check to that utility. It's not paid for credit cards. It's not paid if you have, and again, it's a need-based financial. You have to show financial need for that grant if you're over income, and that happens sometimes too, where people have $2,000 left over their paycheck and they're still asking for financial assistance. It's like that's normally turned down. So I don't know of one case that it's ever been approved. Let's put it that way. But back to 24, we had $750. So it shows, I think Sawyer County, as far as, employment and I guess the economy, we were doing pretty good to be that low. We've had a couple years during COVID, it got pretty high. So as far as department relationships, we work with the clerk, we work with the treasurer, work with the register of deeds, sometimes with the DA, DA's office, to try to help veterans navigate, problems or processes, or we need death certificates or birth certificates or marriage certificates, and we get those through the register of deeds. And again, that's all, it's all based on applying for state and federal benefits for the veterans. So the report, if you read it, it goes into much more detail on what we do, but we're quite proud of what we do. If you look at return on investment, I screwed up with my math. I will be honest. Mike's the one that caught me on it, and he goes, "You're missing 2 zeros." So based on, we've got a 12,300% return on investment for the county. And I don't know if there's any other county department that brings money back in to the county. So again, we work hard for that, and we're proud of it, and we're proud of our veterans, and we thank you for your support and keeping this going.
Ms. Hessel,
I think Ron had his first.
Mr. Buckles.
Thank you, Gary and Nicole, for this. That's very, very good information. I'm glad you brought this to us. And I just want to say, you guys do a great job for the veterans in Sawyer County. And I thank you for that too. So.
Yeah. You have facts, you have data that show what you do, but I see the veterans that you help and how they are cared for, especially the elderly veterans. And so thank you for doing that. I know you'll be busy next week, so hopefully you get all the kudos you guys deserve.
Can I?
I'd like to add that I was at the meeting too where he presented this, and it was wonderful. And I'm just going to brag on him a minute because he didn't mention this, but the conference he was at, there service reps from all over the state. And was it Milwaukee that was bragging about what they bring in?
Yeah, so it was the state's commander for the VFW, the American Legion, State American Legion, and the state of Wisconsin's Department of Veteran Affairs all operate within the VA, the Veterans Benefits Administration's building in Milwaukee. And it was the VFW commander that boasted of how much money direct payout they had for their veterans so far this year. And this is the state's office, the state VFW office. And he said it was 4 something.
Mhm.
And
Just under.
yeah, it was
Or just under.
yeah, just under
500 something.
yeah. And I elbowed Nicole and I said, we're beating them.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's not that we're perfect. We're not, but that is something I know we're doing things right if we're competing.
So thanks for helping even a little bit. I mean, I know that some people think that it's not a huge population here, but we know that that's not fact. So thank you for helping the majority of the people that live in our county.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would just like to say that I know I said this last year too, but I'm very thankful to be here, and every day I'm humbled to work with the veterans, especially not being a veteran myself. But this is a position where I started originally a split position working the front desk, and Gary, I was very thankful when he pulled me over and I wasn't juggling 3 positions and to just focus on one. But I feel like in most jobs, when you're here, you think, okay, I'm going to learn this, I'm going to master it, and I'm going to have less to do every day because I've mastered what I'm doing. But this is something where the more you learn, the deeper and more complicated everything becomes, because all of a sudden you're looking into even more systems of the human body, and claims become more complicated because you're learning about secondary conditions and what more can I do for my veteran. And how much more complicated could this claim get? And it's not just state benefits and community benefits, it's federal benefits. And then the human body, all of a sudden, there's a new condition. And I'm challenging my brain, but every day I get thanked by my veterans. And it's just truly been an amazing experience. But I wouldn't be able to have learned all of this without him. So he's been an amazing teacher. And I'm just really, truly humbled and thankful to work with him every day. And he's just amazing. So I've been to the trainings, I've seen other CVSOs, and Gary is above and beyond just one of the best. So our county is so fortunate. And I just want to toot his horn, toot, because he deserves it. And also, Stacy, thank you, because you have made our coffee and conversations just extra special. We love having you. You're wonderful. Our veterans love you. So thank you. And thank you for coming. And it meant the world to have you at our meeting. So thank you for being there. It means a lot. Thank you, guys.
All right,
Okay,
I'll
all
finish up.
right.
I was in the service for over 27 years. And I will tell you, coming back out of the service has been a hard transition. It continues to be a hard transition. Everything that we did, or that I did when I was in the military, it was normally for all the marbles. And coming back out to the civilian world, it's not that way. It's not the same. Let's put it that way. It's not the same. And it's been very difficult. I am blessed to get to work with my brothers and sisters. Anyway, yeah, I'm blessed to be able to work with them. It helps. It helps me, even though I pull my hair out sometimes. So it helps me trying to figure out how to, when we're navigating stuff. It's nice to see them. And anyway, I was going to say one more. Oh, Mike, Mr. Markgren, thank you honestly for showing up to the commission meeting. We've never had it. When we had county administrators, we never had a county administrator show up ever to that. And they knew about it. So when you reached out, it's like, well, you don't have to come, but you're more than welcome to come. And he did. The commission members spent extra time with him, and talking to him. So it was good. I mean, it was very good for showing up. And thank you for, it shows that we're important, and what they did was important. So thank you. And thank you for your support.
The numbers speak very loudly, Gary and Nicole. Thank you for what you do for Sawyer County and the rest of the communities also. Moving on, number 11, Informational Technology Report, IT. Anything you want to put in there? He's provided us with a report. Anybody have any questions? Number
I
12.
have a question.
Yes.
So when I was at the Veteran Service Office, the ADRC has 5 large screen TVs in the lobby. Are those ITs that they're going to be hanging up for need? But there's 5 large screen TVs that are being unused, and they've been there since January. I've seen them at every coffee and conversations. And so I asked if they were the Veteran Service Office, and they're not. So if they are the ADRCs, or if they could be used within the rest of the county, they're sitting right in their lobby. So people have been commenting that that's where our taxpayers' dollars are going, and I just didn't think it was very flattering.
I'll look into that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. Number 12, Human Resource Report. Rose has provided us with a report. Anybody have any questions? No. We'll keep going. Number 13, Public Safety Cooperation Law Enforcement Grant Resolution. Discussion of possible action.
kind of hard to follow Gary and Nicole, but I'll try. This resolution is that agreement that we've had for several years with LCO. It's a working relationship with Sheriff's Department and LCO Police Service. And LCO gets the grant. I believe it's $50,000. And we just have to pass this resolution for them to apply and receive the grant funding. And then the other exhibit is just the grant itself, some background information. Or the agreement, I should say. Sorry.
Focus.
So I'll second Mr. Duffy.
Can't get everybody. We have a motion and a second to approve.
Was this approved at Public Safety?
It was, yes.
Okay.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion? Opposed? Motion carries. That takes care of B also then.
Correct, yep.
Number 14, County Administrator Report.
All right, I don't have quite as much to report on as normal. It's been busy, but it's been more concise and focused on budget and strategic plan. So I want to thank everybody for their efforts in putting the budget together and coming up with something that was workable. Board as well. Also, with the strategic plan, you kind of heard an update last month. Brought the 5 areas of focus to the department head meeting, and they all took from there and the 2 goals that I set for the county from each of those 5. And I asked them to write 2 goals that are measurable from at least 2 of the 5 areas of focus. So we talked about that for a while at the meeting. I've received a few back. Gary was the first one to return his. And I've been helping people write them. I know this is a new process for Sawyer County, so some of the stuff came back as something that maybe wasn't quite as measurable, didn't have a time limit, or maybe something out of their control. So I've been working with department heads to make something that they can focus on, that they can affect, and that they can see a result from. So we're working on that. They're due back to me by November 17th, so that's coming up. I'll probably send a reminder out Monday for that. And again, then from there, bring them back to the committees and the full board, and hopefully we'll have a document by January. Beyond that, I will attend the chamber annual meeting dinner celebration tonight. I'm looking forward to that and see who wins some awards at that. And then, as was mentioned, I attended that Veterans Commission meeting, and that was, I mean, you heard a lot of the numbers here, but I sat there for an hour and a half hearing some stories and the impact that they're having, and that those 2 are a blessing for this community. And I didn't even catch that 1 out of 10 residents in Sawyer County are veterans. That's a huge percentage. So I'm thankful we have 2 such dedicated and passionate people serving them. Public Safety Network, the background work is being done. We still don't have a signed agreement with the WOGB tower. That's kind of the final piece to really get things together, but we've made good movement going forward on kind of all fronts there. And as I mentioned, I think at the county board meeting, we had a change in the tower, one that had been proposed by a company that was denied through zoning, ended up using a tower down the road, which was 300 feet versus 200 feet, and also on quite an elevated property, which helps the whole system because we'll have some redundancy then that we wouldn't have had with the other tower. So that was good news. We meet every Friday morning at 10 o'clock to get an update on the progress, and it's moving along nicely. And wrote a lot of resolutions this month, which I actually enjoy, but that takes up some time too.
Worried about you, Mike.
I'm analytical. It's a challenge. Any questions on anything?
I'd just like to give kudos to the highway department for doing so much this time of year to prepare the roads, and the brushing and all of that. It seems like they're working really hard. Last night was made mention at Public Works, but I just thought I would reiterate it.
Yeah, they've been doing a great job. John is a great leader. He sets the course very well, lines up the projects great, and he's awesome at estimating. He comes in right at budget. And yeah, they did some very nice work around new posts there on CC, that intersection, making that safer for everybody. So yeah, kudos to all of them.
They did a lot of work for my township. John did. And his crew. What they did is an excellent job. Is an excellent job that they did for our township.
Mhm. Yeah, I encourage you, when you see good work, reach out and let the person know. That means a lot to people.
I think sometimes our whole county, whether it be us board members or the agency leaders, just hear the negative. It'd be nice to focus on the positive.
It's always been my motto, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope.
Number 15, Veterans Tribute Update.
So the phase 2 of the study was approved at this committee last month. I did right after that reach out to SCH to get phase 2 in the works. I got a response back that October's been very busy. It's in the docket. They have not completed that yet. I reached out for an update this morning, haven't heard, but hopefully we get that done soon. That's really all I've got.
Is there a timeline going forward? I know we were presented one back when the project was approved, but is there a timeline going forward?
After the discussion, I guess that was 2 months ago now, wasn't it? Because I wasn't at this meeting last month. It seems like we really need this done to make the purchase, to get it solidified, to move forward on the design and all of that. So we'll have, when we get this done, I'll do an updated.
So there's not another phase is what I'm asking. So it's just
No,
one and two,
no,
and there's not like a
two.
12 phase step that, okay, thank you.
No, it was always from the beginning, 2 possible phases. One was doing research on the background of the property. That's where it came up that there, at one point, were 2 tanks on the property. It was not definitive whether they're above ground, below ground. Above ground wouldn't be an issue. If they're below ground, that would be an issue if there was some leakage that we'd have to deal with. And then phase 2 would be the core samples to see if that is the case or not.
That's gonna make a big decision on them core samples.
Well,
Go on with that, right?
yeah, and I know it sounds like I'm being way too thorough with this. If something came up down the road and we hadn't done our due diligence, I'd hate to have that come back on the county. And all of a sudden we have a big mitigation.
Do we think there are tanks? I thought there wasn't tanks there.
There were 2 identified.
There were,
Actually,
so it was a gas
third is
station.
a possibility even. It wasn't a gas station, but there were holding tanks there of some sort.
Oh, okay.
But what we don't know. Was it really? Okay. Actually, it's been Dairy Queen since 1961, so I wasn't around then. I don't know what was there before that, but
Spilled ice cream.
yeah. Well, hopefully, yeah. So that's where we're at with that.
Any other questions? Yeah. 16, posting meeting on YouTube, discussion of possible action. It's been requested to have this on here. I myself have received a lot of feedback from employees here about the YouTube, and they really like it. They like it's there that they can use it. But other people have comments also. Mr. Buckles.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve or stay with posting board meetings on the YouTube. I'll second.
We have a motion by Mr. Buckles, second by Mr. Righeimer.
What are the What are the security risks? Is there a way to block that so that people cannot copy and paste and be facetious like they're being with our open records requests? So could that encourage bad behavior like it is when they request video from the sheriff's department? So that was my concern, is that I think with AI, with all these different generated issues, people can turn our words around, and they can also make meetings not, we have to go by the written notes that Liz gives. So even if we provide it, there's bad behavior that could happen. That is why I didn't want it on YouTube. I wanted just to have it stored in record. But there's a lot of people that like it because it is transparent, but it could still be transparent in the records storage. It doesn't have to go on YouTube. We're visiting it at the school level because we've had inappropriate actions. So I think that just being safe, there are some people that won't come and talk because of the fact that it's on YouTube. And so I think we have to respect all sides of it. That's all I'm asking.
Thank you. You can check into that a little bit, please.
Yeah, that's one thing I hadn't considered, actually. I used it last month when I missed those couple meetings. I watched it online and I appreciate it, but I hadn't considered what could happen.
Well, that's why it's nice to have a committee of 5 so that we broaden the horizons. Everybody thinks a little something and bring it forward that we can all think about and deal with. Thank you. Mr. Buckles, you have something else?
Yeah, I just want to add that to what Stacy said. I've never heard of anything like that happening on YouTube, and I've used it myself where I couldn't attend a meeting or whatever. And I go back and I look at them meetings, and I've used it for zoning, on different things for zoning. And I've watched Land and Water, but I've never heard of any illegal or stuff like that happening watching YouTube meetings.
Well, unfortunately or fortunately, I watch the news every morning and that's all they talk about is AI. So it's certainly here, and I respect what Stacy's saying because of that.
We would have the original recording still here though on our end. So
But-
let's say someone did do something and it had to be mitigated or responded to publicly. We do have the recording on our end that's not the manipulated one. So you could,
The reputations could still be ruined
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
social
it's
media.
hard to get it back when it's viral.
It is exactly that. Just on a state level, the state elected officials have had to deal with that. So I know we're small potatoes, we're county board members, but I still think that it should be a pause, that we didn't do it before COVID. We did it because of COVID. Are we doing it now just to make everybody else's lives easier? Because it can't just be because of transparency. But if we have it stored, people can still get it. It doesn't have to be on YouTube where the whole world sees it. So I guess that's, people are evil and we're in an evil world, and we can't be as trustworthy. I mean, we find that out every day. So I just am concerned about, being a safer place. I know our last treasurer wouldn't come to the meetings because she didn't want to be on YouTube. And I respect that. And we signed up to be in the meetings. But I don't think it necessarily needs to be a situation where we're just making everybody else's lives easier because they can watch it whenever they want,
Thank you for your comments. Much appreciated. So we have a motion, we have a second. We'll vote on that now. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed?
I,
Do we have a stalemate?
it's 2 and 2.
can I ask for clarification, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
So the motion was by Ron Buckholz to continue posting the meetings on the YouTube. You said stay, but continue, stay.
Continue.
And who made the second? And now you're opposed.
That's okay.
Okay,
They had to get a second to get it on the floor.
I allow the discussion.
I'm just gonna say that I changed your mind. So give me some kudos. Yeah,
Second, doesn't mean I'm agreeing.
exactly. It's nice to get known for something well, instead of just getting pummeled.
So I'm gonna ask clerk to have a roll call vote, please.
Okay, we're going to have a roll call vote of the motion to continue leaving the videos posted on YouTube. After the motion by Ron Buckholz and second by John Righeimer, roll call vote, Ron Kinsley,
You should leave me till last. Because if it's a tie vote, then I get to break the tie, but I will vote yes.
Ron Buckholz,
Yes.
Tom Duffy,
Yes.
Stacy Hessel,
No,
John Righeimer. Motion carries.
So motion carries. It stays, and this stays at this committee level. It doesn't go to the full board. Okay. But your discussion was well received, and I appreciate that because you brought up things that I hadn't thought about also. Thank you.
well, you'll think about it when they have you dancing on the tables at the board meetings, so.
We'll deal with it at that time. I like to think that our security is good enough to like, they have a backup. We can take care of some of that, hopefully. I also understand the respect of when stuff is out there, how quickly things can be damaged. Number 17, board appointment committee updates. Anybody have anything they want to share? I will share that because some of you may not know yet. In Public Works, the ATV, UTV trails has been a discussion of opening up the rest of the roads on the reservation. And I wanted to have a meeting. A lot of us wanted to have a meeting with the tribe. The tribe reached out to Mark Helwig. We set up the meeting, a small meeting consisted of Mr. Helwig, Mr. Marker, and myself. And through that discussion, we and they brought up some other items that are of concern. And I think it's best in the month of December because our November's agenda is already set, that we put together a small committee of 3 to work on items with them and try to get some of the stuff resolved and then bring it back to the board.
Can I ask that Mr. Pino be included on that? Because he's going to get the calls from all the trails and the roads, so I think that would be respectable or respected or whatever word I'm trying to use.
Presently, he's aware of what's going on. And at the meeting, I asked if the ATV, UTV Trails Association could be brought forward. And they said, yes, at some point, Mr. Pino will be involved. So he will be kept abreast of what's going on presently.
You have your committee picked.
I have a committee that I would ask the board to approve, but that won't be until December. Anybody have anything else they want to share? You have a question or? Okay, thank you. 18, correspondence reports of conferences and meetings, future agenda items. Thank you for your valuable, yes.
Can I just encourage everybody to attend? There's a veterans concert on Monday night at 7:00 at the Hayward High School. And there's a slideshow with all the county veterans on it. And then also on Tuesday at 9 a.m., there is a veterans intermediate school concert, I guess you could say, program. And then at noon, Gary Elliott is speaking in Stone Lake. There is a list of activities. Saturday night, there's a veterans dinner. There's different activities throughout the whole county, but I think it would be nice if any county board members could make it to any of the events, and it's not just me. But I love going, and I will go to every event that I can, but I'm just promoting that everybody go if they're able. But the list of activities are on the veterans social media page.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your valuable time. Meeting adjourned. Enjoy the day.